Yes, you have, because your perspectives are different. Your discipline is notched up. You look at ordinary people, like you call them, ordinary civilians, as you call them. Raw civilians. And you think, how are they coping with life if they're just this laissez-faire? That's the whole, you're looking at life differently. Yeah, the things that you know are very basic and common sense to you are not as sensical to other people. So then when you get back here, that adjustment disorder is a big thing. It's your own family, it's your spouse, it's your children, and they don't understand, you don't understand them. That's a big thing. It impacts you mentally because you're thinking like, I'm the one left out. You know, they seem to be okay. They're the majority. But right about it now, I would tell you that sometimes the path that's followed by many, as it's known even today, sometimes it's possibly a path that takes you astray. Universal suffrage doesn't seem to me that it works too well, because going by what Kaloem Kipola says in his 5 fundamental basic laws of human stupidity, he says the majority of us are actually stupid. Anyway, away from that subject, what changes, fundamental changes that happen to you when you're exposed to traumatic experiences particularly, gets you into that region where your mindsets are changed, your mental faculties are changed very fundamentally, and the adverse effects of this would be even suicidal instincts that start to show up because you feel the deep feelings of rejection and emptiness, they get in there. Depression will set in because of other things. You know, there's things that are impacting you here. Once you are set up for one mental illness, other things can actually follow. Okay? So yes, it's a unit that is highly operational and highly exposed, so to speak, in a nutshell. And that's why when you feel, you know, people have a feeling of the people who've gone to war and served in very operational unit and very stressful environments such as the army or even the NPS, the National Police themselves, they are more predisposed to suffer from mental illnesses. And the way maybe we are postured as well within those systems themselves, work counterintuitively to address those problems. Because when you come up with now, say, alcoholism because of depression, because of PTSD, it's looked at as indiscipline rather than a case to handle from a medical perspective so that you are helped. But most importantly, again, when now we are out here, because eventually, even when you're serving the army, you get your off days to get to family, you get your off days, or maybe you retire. And you get back to where? To the general citizen who, again, don't understand you as well. Okay, so it gets worse. It spirals. Then the society brands you. The society actually works also very counterintuitively to maybe the well-intentioned interests. And we brand people. Ule kevo madrinks, you know, that drunkard. Okay? Yet that is actually a symptom to something deeper happening inside of you. Okay, how do you approach someone who's suffering from malaria or typhoid, who's going down with diarrhea or something? You don't say, oh, why did you allow yourself to be bitten by a female anopheles mosquito? Or, you know, come on, live your own life. You say, you empathize and say, oh, malaria, oh, I'm sorry, man, quick recovery. Have you seen a doctor? But then how do you react to people who are mentally ill and have turned to alcohol as a source of comfort? We dismiss them as drunkards, right? Including our friends, families. And that's why people take their own lives, because at the end of the day, they get worse and worse, not because of those things that are happening to them, but because, again, of our reactions to what they are going through. So it's a rallying call to folks out there. You know, being a brother's keeper means that you actually meaningfully care. Being in someone else's shoes means that you care beyond the knowledge that you have for yourself. You say, I will leave this knowledge, I'll dissert my position and my perspectives and try to see deeper things about Mr. Jaguero, you know, being the guy who's closest to his bottle as a source of comfort, more than anything else. Why they are suddenly quiet, why they are very irritable when you talk to them, why they cannot sustain relationships meaningfully. And mental disorder are perhaps, and mental disabilities are perhaps the worst form of disabilities beyond physical, and you see someone who doesn't have hands, doesn't have limbs. Literally mental disabilities are the worst of them all, and that's where we need to actually really focus.